Hello, this is Sandy with SDS Digital and the Accord Sequarallel. Today we're going to have a look at the utility features for SelectBus. SelectBus is very similar to MIDI except it's not electrically isolated and rides on the 16-pin power ribbon so that any module with SelectBus is connected by default via the power distribution bus in the rack. The Sequarallel can be a SelectBus master or slave. When set to be a master, the SelectBus QuickBox value, when changed, sends the state number to the other modules. This can be between 0 and 63. I have a little diagnostic SelectBus module that will show the received changes in the inset. This grid is states 0 to 15, which matches the changes I make immediately. Each song project can have this QuickBox set to a state, so when the Sequarallel song project is loaded, the state is sent to other modules, if the Sequarallel is set as master, that is. Getting more advanced, automations and playlist effects in the Sequarallel can be sent to switch to certain SelectBus states, when certain loops play or a certain area of the playlist is reached. The SelectBus mode can be master, slave, auto, or no SelectBus. Auto can be either, but won't automatically send a state when the song project is loaded. So let's try out SelectBus slave mode. This is best demonstrated by hitting the play button, although it's not a very useful thing to do in practice. Now I'll change to song number 2. And song number 6. And song number 4. You get the idea. It's not a good way to change while playing, as the initial clock tends to jump while everything loads, but it's good to show the SelectBus slave in this example. So I'll load the song project 1 as it has a simple pair of layers to demonstrate the next, way cooler feature. There is a second slave function that pretty much makes up for anything one could imagine it could ever do. When switched from song select, an offset value is shown. This offset is SelectBus's starting point on a keyboard. The keyboard is the remote notes keyboard. Best explained by example. For simplicity, I'll set the offset to start at note 0 so the SelectBus state number and the notes line up. Okay, so now we must go to the remote QuickBox to set some parameters to modify with the SelectBus. This is pretty much the same way as MIDI remote notes can be configured, but there are no notes on and off, so we have to use the S button to save them. Turn on the song learn only, set to use the song lists as a priority, and change the view from CCs to notes. So it's probably wise to use the song project notes list rather than the global list, as this will likely need to change from project to project. Now simply click on the notes, starting from note 0 for our SelectBus 1-to-1 offset. This one will change the velocity levels of layer 1 to a lower level. Hit the S button and we're back in the remote list. Now the second note will also change the same layer 1 level. The remote MIDI channel doesn't matter in this case, it could even be turned off. Because the SelectBus just, well, rather selects than toggles on and off like notes do, there needs to be at least 2 states assigned to the same parameter, or it would just be a one-shot, right? So I'm doing 4 total changes, for the fun of it. The LED flashing should be next to the S button like when assigning a playlist effects. I guess I'll have to fix that. Now there are 4 select bus states turning on 4 different remote control notes, which are assigned to the varied levels. Okay, let's have a listen. I'll mute out layer 2 QuickBox so we can better hear the changes. Now I'll change the remote node offset that was set to 0 for the example. Say we wanted to preserve the first 4 select bus states for another use elsewhere in the system. Just set the offset to 4 notes. Our level parameters are saved and will be shifted up to state 4 to 7. Here they are. The offset can be on the positive side as well, if some of the lower notes are being used for actual MIDI remote input from a controller or keyboard. I'll set it back as I want to add 4 more on top of the previous 4 later on. So there it is, any parameter via select bus. This is a super simple example, but could be any effects in any tracks tracker, layers, or song effects. Before I go, I'm going to mention a couple of other entries under the select bus QuickBox. The send SELBUS types. As with all standards in music electronics, there's always more than one. Some modules don't like type 1 select bus, while others don't like type 2. Don't ask me for a list, as I'm sure that's still ongoing up to, well, yesterday. The best way is to try type 1 and type 2, and then try both, until all your connected modules work. This is for select bus master only, as the Sequarallel understands both types while slaving, or in auto mode. Now the 4th entry, merge, is a bit more experimental and possibly risky. This allows MIDI from the panel MIDI in and internals on channel 1 to pass onto the select bus. So the Sequarallel can act as an ad hoc breakout to the select bus. This is covered better in the manual and on the site, and is ongoing with some possible future proprietary syshexes for the SDS Accord series modules included. There's also a hardware select bus clock line that hasn't been implemented in software at all, yet. The last entry is a state save button. As a select bus master, it's a light requirement to have some sort of save mechanism, and this is it. Pressing this and selecting yes will send a state save message instructing other modules on the select bus environment to save their settings for this state number. There you have it, select bus in a nutshell. So I hope you have enjoyed this little select bus familiarization tutorial as much as I have enjoyed making it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to be notified of more upcoming tutorials on this great sequencer module. I'm Sandy Sims. Bye for now, and remember, keep on patching.